Hello guys, gals and gamers. Today we are going to be having a discussion on whether or not these Nintendo franchises would make a good movie or TV show, which one, and would it be live action or animated? Let's find out. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to remind you guys to please like and subscribe. This is a very small channel, so every single like, every subscription, every comment down below really means a lot to me. And hey, according to the latest YouTube updates, subscribing is now quick, it's easy and almost pain-free, so there is practically no reason not to subscribe. So go ahead and do that. But now let's get back into the actual topic of this video. So yes, in front of me I have a list of a lot of Nintendo franchises. And today we are going to have a discussion on whether or not these would make a good movie or TV show. The reason why I'm making this is because the Super Mario Brothers movie is a few months away, and also I think last week we had the Last of Us TV show. The franchises I'm looking at are franchises that have altogether sold like over 5 million copies. The franchise has sold over 5 million copies and feel like there is some narrative potential in there, and they are popular enough already to kind of warrant a TV show or movie. Because if you think about Nintendo movies and TV shows, of course the first things you think about are like Zelda, Kirby, Donkey Kong, maybe Splatoon. But you don't want Nintendo to make a TV show out of like Face Raiders for the 3DS, no one cares about that. Starting off, the first franchise I want to cover on this video, The Legend of Zelda. And this is something fans have been wanting for so long. And it is actually very interesting because there was an alternate universe where this actually happened, because I think it was like a few years back, a long time ago, where we actually had a leak that Nintendo was planning something with Netflix to bring Legend of Zelda as some sort of a TV show to their subscription service, but plans didn't go through because the initial plans leaked, and Nintendo is not a big fan of leaks, so it didn't happen. But I think Legend of Zelda would make for a very good live action TV show. And my reasoning for this is live action more than animation, because I just want to see that. And of course, an animation would be cool to see. I have nothing against it. But why TV show and not a movie is because the best way I feel like of adapting Zelda into, a format like this would be just to adapt one of the games as a story. And the thing is that the games don't really have a narrative structure that could support a movie. They are very long games, and when it comes to like the structure of the story, they don't really match with like a 3-act structure of a movie. If you think about something like Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, they don't really have a 3-act structure, and just having like a 2.5-hour movie where Link goes to a dungeon and then goes to another dungeon and then goes to a dungeon 8 more times, and that's most of the movie, that would get incredibly boring. So I think part of this, it could also be like a trilogy, maybe like Ocarina of Time, like the first movie would be all about young Link, and then moving on to adult Link, and then the third one would be the finale where we would end up against Ganon. That could maybe work, but I feel like structure-wise, Legend of Zelda would be more like a TV show kind of deal. And if you're thinking what game would make for the best TV show, I would go and say Skyward Sword, because I feel like that has the most fun story in it and the most fun characters in it. Of course, other Zelda games have lovely stories and lovely characters, but I feel like Skyward Sword really does stand out, and it is also kind of the beginning of the whole Zelda lore and could be a good introduction for people unfamiliar with the franchise to really get on it. Next one, we have Animal Crossing. And Animal Crossing is an interesting case because you might not expect it, but Animal Crossing actually has had a movie before. It was like a Japanese animated movie. I don't think it was ever dubbed over in English, but they have it, and it's okay. It's nice. It's lovely. But if we're thinking about releasing an Animal Crossing movie to like the box office, Animal Crossing doesn't stand out as kind of having a lot of narrative potential. Even like the movie that we have is very slice of life. It's just daily life in a village full of animals, and there's not much narrative juice in there to really put a great, interesting, intriguing movie to the big screen. So I feel like with Animal Crossing, I would love to see an animated like a TV show, kind of targeting a kid audience, but of course being something like the show Bluey that's definitely meant for kids, but something like adults can also watch, and for many it would be like a very, very good comfort show. Next up is Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong as well has had an animated TV show before, and that looked ugly as hell. My god, I still have nightmares of that. But I would think Donkey Kong could be interesting to see like as kind of a movie. There is potential that Donkey Kong as a character in the Mario Brothers movie could have like his own spin-off at some point, and I would definitely be interested in seeing that. But I don't think there's much to do with Donkey Kong when it comes to a TV show, and the one we have, it's horrible, it's not that interesting, and I would rather go and see like a 90-minute movie. I don't care if it's animated or live action. Live action could be interesting. Of course, in live action, Donkey Kong would still be like a CGI creature, but I would go and say Donkey Kong would fit a movie, in my opinion, a bit better. Then moving on to Splatoon, and Splatoon is also very interesting. I feel like Splatoon is kind of like Pokemon in the sense that the most interesting thing about it is the world that they create. And the world itself, I think for me, it has so much narrative potential in there. So Splatoon is one of those that I feel like could be either one. It could be a good movie or it could be a good TV show. Either one, I think it's going to be great. And I think Splatoon will definitely be animated. I don't want to see live action Splatoon, that would be horrifying. Let's talk about Kirby. And Kirby as well has had an animated TV show, and I think that is the correct format to do Kirby. They could do like the animated show again, but I think it could be interesting to see Kirby move on to like 3D animation. And while a movie could work, I feel like Kirby as a character, there is one problem. I feel like Zelda and Metroid and a few other franchises have this problem as well, is that the main character just doesn't really talk that much. And what they did in the animated show is just have Kirby be a kid, but have like other characters following around Kirby at all times. Where, okay, Kirby doesn't speak, but is still really powerful, can be kind of badass, can be funny, and I just don't see a movie being like that. And of course, like you could make it work, but it could be incredibly frustrating to watch in a way. Like, I want this character to say something a bit. So I would definitely go for like a TV show, and I think this could be another one of those that is definitely aimed for like a younger audience, but of course would be enjoyable for all ages because it's a Nintendo thing. Then we have Metroid, and Metroid is very interesting because this is one that I haven't really played too many Metroid games. I like them, but just have never gotten the opportunity to play too much Metroid. but it is still one of the ones that I would love to see the most adapted into like the big screen. And there's a part of me that is kind of afraid of a Metroid adaptation, even though it is something I want to really see. And that is what I talked with Kirby and also goes for Zelda, is that the main character Samus doesn't really talk that much. And I think it is the most important here. And my ideal situation would be like a this atmospheric kind of indie horror movie out of Metroid, but I don't think Nintendo would ever do that. Or another good case would be like the guys who made Castlevania animated series for Netflix. They could do something interesting with Metroid. I feel like Samus needs to be this like badass character who's kind of like stoic, and you need to represent that well. And I just don't see that happening that much in the current movie landscape, where all of the action movie heroes have to be making like quips at all times, and I just don't see that happening for Metroid. And then we have Fire Emblem, and this is a very interesting, very interesting series for Nintendo, because it does have a lot of narrative potential in there, and I could definitely see either movie or TV show. Personally, I would go for like a live action TV show myself, because Fire Emblem games can also be like very long and have like very packed stories. I feel like I don't know which one would be the best game to adapt. I want to say Fire Emblem Awakening, because that's the game that I feel like has the most like appeal to a general audience. And it's just I've only played like modern Fire Emblem games, so Fire Emblem purists, okay, you might hate me for this, but I think it is the most interesting story that Fire Emblem has had. And then, of course, we have had Fire Emblem Fates and Fire Emblem Three Houses that I don't think are as good options, because they have like this narrative where you choose at some point, like, where do you want to go. And I just don't see that happening as like a movie. Could, of course, work. And if you were to make like a Fire Emblem Three Houses thing, it could be also interesting to see that as like a TV show, where you're a new teacher at this school and all sorts of things happen. That could work as well. And I think the Fire Emblem Three Houses TV show, it has something to it, because there are definitely like this there's definitely like a genre of like teen TV shows where you go to this like magical school of sorts and meet all of these characters, and there's drama. And of course, in that situation, you probably wouldn't have the main character be the teacher, but if you want to mix things around, that could also be very interesting. Okay, we have three more franchises, and first of these is Pikmin. And Pikmin just in general feels like to me a franchise that Nintendo just gives a lot of like special attention to. And a part of this special attention is that we have actually gotten 3D animated Pikmin shorts before, and I think this was the first. And Pikmin has actually gotten 3D animated shorts before, and I think this was the first kind of a movie project that Miyamoto was a part of. So it's very interesting, and I could definitely see Pikmin happening, even though I don't think as a franchise it is so appealing to like the general audiences, but it could be interesting to see. And I think Pikmin TV show, I don't think the Pikmin characters and everything are that interesting. If it would be a TV show, I could only see it being like a one season thing. I would definitely go for a movie with this one, an animated movie where you just crash land into this new planet, be introduced to Pikmin, and then have to find material to go back to your home planet. That could be a good plot for a kids movie, kind of this cartoon 3D animated movie. Not necessarily for kids again, but it could be a good, fun, like 90-minute movie, and that could be it. I don't think there's any need to, stretch it out into like a full series, but as like an animated movie, I think that could be just enough. Okay, next we have Star Fox. And Star Fox, I'm not sure what you could do with Star Fox. I would definitely go for a TV show myself. I feel like there's plenty of good ideas on the internet for a Star Fox anything, but I think most of what I've seen is for like a TV show. It could make like a fun Monster of the Week or Threat of the Week TV show where you just have Fox McCloud and the Star Fox team fighting off against a new space enemy every week. That could be a really fun, interesting thing. And I just am reminded of the YouTube animation that I saw like many years ago of like a Fox in Time or whatever it was called, where it was like this 80s style animated short of Star Fox, and I really want something like that to happen. And lastly on this list we have Xenoblade Chronicles. And for Xenoblade Chronicles, I would definitely say an animated series. Maybe live action as well, but definitely like a TV show, a series. And the main reason for this is, well, to put it simply, Xenoblade Chronicles games are way too long for movies. There is so much just happening in Xenoblade games, and again, the best thing here to do is adapt one of the games that already exists into like an adaptation and not create a story that is completely unique, because kind of all Xenoblade Chronicles games have their own story to tell. So I feel like, well, when it comes to stories, I think you should start with number one, adapt Xenoblade Chronicles, the original, into like a TV series. And yeah, it's just way too long. You can't condense an 80-hour adventure into a 2-hour movie. It's just, I don't think it's possible. So I think it could be a TV show, live action or animated, that would last a few seasons and then end. And everyone would love it because it's Xenoblade Chronicles. So I think that could be really fun. But let me know what you think about this video. Do you have any other Nintendo franchises in mind that you would have wanted me to discuss, and would you think there would be a good TV show or a movie, and do you disagree with any of my picks on this list? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.